Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to try to talk about crypto and Bitcoin specifically, which is making a huge advance overnight, approaching 45,000, and that's because there is a run happening on Russian banks. People are suspecting that they're trying to avoid the SWIFT payment system by trading in crypto, and Russia also has roughly a $600 billion hoard of gold. So in this video, we're going to go through and talk about that and everything else we need to know to be prepared for the day ahead. First thing we're going to look at here is just Bitcoin. So we can clearly note that it is starting a dramatic advance. First thing I would just notice that it's taking out its first relative high, which is very important here at roughly 42,000. And then we got the 50 weekly moving average here at about 47,000. The number here you can see on the right-hand side, the big blue one corresponds with the blue line. And then the final barrier we want to try to get through is going to be roughly 49 to 50,000. And this could be potentially setting up a massive W for Bitcoin to go back to all-time highs. I still have my apprehensions, or I'm still a little bit skeptic. But if the pattern's going to play out, we're seeing some of the early evidence. I would also just note here that on Bitcoin specifically, we can see that we got a double downtrend. So this is only going to track the overnight price action. So we can see here that at roughly 40,600, it was testing the weekly downtrend. And we're clearly above that now. Over 41.5 was a bull break for me, which goes back to our previous top going back to early of 2020. And that's pretty much it. So first thing I would just note here is that on the week, we're already up by 18%. Remembering that Bitcoin is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, almost $1 trillion, I believe, right now. So 18% move means that is a lot of market cap being added. As we noted before, long line at Russia's ATMs and banks run begin with more pain to come. So what people are expecting is that if there's going to be more pain, let's sell the stupid ruble and let's buy some Bitcoins. Why? Because you're able to not lose money. That's what it appears like. And the original reason why Bitcoin was created. We can also have a look here at Ethereum and note that it is approaching. It's over 3,000 as we record this right now. It is approaching the 50 weekly moving average of roughly 3110. And same notes, if it can break above there, I could see movement up closer to about 4,000. And again, still a dominant head and shoulders pattern here. Moving forward, I also want to talk about Arkk. And the reason why I want to talk about Arkk is because the riskiest assets are usually going to lead if the reversal is real. And as we look here at Arkk, again, this is from overnight, meaning yesterday, we can see here that it was up by 4%, 3.91%. Throttling that 69. Looks like Cathie Wood is in love with 69s. So we got to see whether or not we can actually break the pattern here. And from the weekend deep dive from a couple of weeks ago, this is our psychology chart. And right now we are battling for this green downtrend here. We can snap through that and reclaim the 200 weekly moving average, or the gray line right here at about 74.14. That means that this could be the bottom. Again, keyword there being could. The reason why I say could is because there are some key events for this week, and we're not going to know for sure whether or not they are actually bullish or bearish until they get to the end of the week. Why? These are weekly catalysts. So today at, I don't know what time it is. I think it's like tonight, 8 o'clock, whatever. We're going to have the State of the Union address from Joe Biden. Honestly, he's going to likely be talking about inflation. We got a couple of previews for what he's going to say, right? Probably talk about Build Back Better, energy independence, blah, blah, blah. After that, we got Jerome Powell giving a testimony tomorrow for day one. Thursday, we got Powell day two. And on Friday, we got Payroll Friday. So as we're looking here at these weekly charts, it's important for us to keep in mind the best case scenario, the worst case scenario, and the surprise. Right now, I am seeing risk assets starting to advance. And what I would note is that I want to know whether or not crypto is still trading like tech stocks. If that's the case, we should see the QQQ and SPY absolutely crush it today. Why? 18% for Bitcoin is a huge, huge, huge advance. If we look here at the QQQ weekly chart, again, we're set to open here roughly flat. Look at the power up here. There's your massive hammer in a megaphone, and we closed higher than the previous candle. What does that tell you? Well, the previous candle's high is 345.98. That's roughly where we're opening up. If we can hold this area right here and make a new high of the week, boom town, we should go up and test that 50 weekly. That's what I'm looking for. It's roughly a 15-point advance or roughly 4 or 5%. There's also potential for us to not only get here, but to snap back all the way up to the upper part of the channel. That's at 420. Elon Musk would be proud. So again, just keeping that in mind, if we're seeing that Bitcoin and tech, meaning the NASDAQ, are still trading together, this thing should absolutely crush it today. If it doesn't, there's something new happening, meaning that crypto is now telling us that people are fleeing for safety. They're not fleeing to a risk asset. Same note here with SPY. We can note that we did get a double top. 437.84 is the high from last week, and then we got 483.2 this week. But I would note that overnight ES did print a higher high and did reject off the 50 weekly here. So that's the same thing that happened last weekend when we were closed on Monday. So if we can't get back above the 50 weekly, what does that mean? It means QQQ is going to be stalling out. We're going to be selling off, and then we're going to be waiting for the Joe Biden event. So let's make this nice and simple again. Let's go back to gold and let's see what it's doing here. The reason why I think that this is still a trap, as we laid out in the weekend video, is because we are seeing that gold is advancing with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we're seeing equity markets sell off. They are rallying back into the early part of the day, but gold running with Bitcoin and Ethereum and equity markets being down is a huge warning for me. Why? We can also look here at wheat, which is making a fresh record high, fresh 52-week high. What does this tell you? People are scared of what? Of Russia specifically. Russia is gapping down again. When we look at the numbers here, they are devastating. Down 30% yesterday, down 10% today. Year to date, it is down by 60 before the open. Whoa! It's set to make a new all-time low at the open here. That's right, a new all-time low. So what this tells me is that people are fleeing to the dollar. People want the dollar. It is the king, and they don't know what else to do. So to make this really simple here, let's go through the S&P and QQQ charts one more time. So we can note here that SPY on the weekly chart, as we noted on the weekend deep dive, which we'll queue up when this video is done here, it's important for us to remember that we opened up weak. So if we open the week and now we are set to advance, we got to do it. We got to actually push forward. We got to take out last week's high at 438, and we got to get above that 50 weekly. And one more time, the reason why this risk reward is really important is because today doesn't really matter, in my opinion. Joe Biden is nice, but what's he going to say? He's not going to move the market. He's not going to likely move S&P. Who's going to move it? Jerome Powell. So on day one is when we're going to be hearing a preview for what he's going to say during the rest of his two-day testimony. He's going to be talking for hours on Wednesday and hours on Thursday. So what does that mean? One more time, a dragonfly or hammer pattern, what we want to see is the continuation on the next candle. If we're going to get a gap down pump up, that could be the bottom again. One more time. What we need to do is close today above the 50 weekly, even if intra-week, meaning tomorrow when Powell talks, back test the 50 weekly and then advance. That is going to be your lowest risk reward trade right here, meaning lowest risk for the maximum return. Because if on Wednesday, when Jerome gives his prepared remarks and starts his Q&A, we're getting a bullish reaction, what are we likely going to get on Thursday? More of the same, which means continuation. However, if we're not above the 50 weekly moving average, this monster dead cat bounce is just that, a dead cat bounce. Final thing to note here is QQQ. So on QQQ, what did we do? Well, we closed green yesterday. We closed above the previous highs candle, and we're set to hold it here at the open. Why does this matter? It matters because of what I mentioned earlier, where the riskiest assets are starting to lead. As we normally look at, chips lead tech, tech lead SPY. And for the last week, what are we looking at here? A couple pockets of green in tech, other than Aapl, because Aapl has been strong year to date. So as of right now, I'm seeing chips lead tech and tech potentially leading SPY. If that's the case, QQQ should crush it today. Again, one more time, it should crush it. Why? Look at the pattern here. Here's the top at the bottom, at the top at the bottom, at the top at the bottom. If the pattern's now going to break, we're likely going to fall to a new fresh low. If this is going to be real, it should drag the S&P kicking and screaming higher. And let's do a quick check-in here. Tesla powered up massively yesterday. Why? It's an energy stock. People want to support it. And if we can take out this relative high here, it's probably going to boom towns. So Tesla appears like a leader. Apple is well above its 50 weekly. It just has to take out this level at roughly 166. We got NVDA, which pushed off the 50 weekly as well, made a higher high. We got Google. Google, again, micro higher high, trying to hold it here at the open. And then we get Bill Microsoft, higher high, holding into the close. These are our leaders, remember, from the weekend video. And then Amazon also making a higher high, but not quite holding the close here. So with that said, if you want to know more, I encourage you to watch the video, which is going to queue up here in about 10 seconds. And we wish you all the best of luck today. Thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.